What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I will be reviewing Chapter 66 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Do or Die. And this chapter was mainly about the Kawaki versus Borushiki / Boruto fight, and this was a fantastic fight. This was a very, very fantastic fight, and we had a lot of interesting reveals in this chapter. So I'm gonna start off talking about Kawaki and Kawaki's powers. So it is basically confirmed that Kawaki does have Ishiki's dojutsu now. And I did make a video talking about Kawaki getting the Byakugan and talking about Kawaki's new dojutsu being the Byakugan. But in my review for chapter 65, I said that I thought it was Ishiki's dojutsu. Now, in the video where I was talking about it possibly being the Byakugan, I also said that I think it's still a possibility that it could be Ishiki's dojutsu. But based on several different things that I talked about in that video, I thought it was more likely for it to be the Byakugan. However, it is basically confirmed to be Ishiki's dojutsu because it has the same abilities as Ishiki's dojutsu, but it does look slightly different. Now, in the colored cover page of the chapter, his eye actually does seem white with the triangle in his eye seems yellow though. However, in the manga chapter, his eye is, anytime he's using Ishiki's dojutsu abilities, his eye is completely black with like 1 or 2 triangles and sometimes 3 triangles, as well as like a white or yellowish pupil. I'm going to assume that the triangles are yellow, just like how Ishiki's eye is. So, and my whole, my theory for why it looks that way is, as far as why it doesn't have all 8, I believe Ishiki's eye has 8 triangles. And Kawaki's only has 3 when he uses Ishiki's eye's abilities. I'm assuming the reason for that is because his eye is not at full power, and he's probably going to upgrade it to eventually getting it to being at full power like Ishiki's eye. Now, as far as how he has this power and how he got the Karma Seal back, it's actually basically Ida says that basically Code is talking to Ida yet again, and Ida basically says that Amato apparently didn't give Kawaki a choice as far as him getting the Karma Seal back. Back when Kawaki got his arm reconstructed, his right arm reconstructed by Amato, Ida assumes that that's when Amato reconstructed the Karma Seal when, basically at the same time that he helped Kawaki's arm regenerate, he also reconstructed the Karma Seal's power in Kawaki's eye at that point. I mean, he also reconstructed the Karma Seal in Kawaki at that point, at the same time that he gave him that new arm, or that he allowed his arm to regenerate, or he helped his arm to regenerate. So that's what happened with that. I actually did mention that in one of my previous videos. I believe it was my video where I was talking about Kawaki's new eye being the Byakugan. I believe I did mention, or actually no, it might have been my chapter 65 review. But either way, in one of my previous videos, I talked about Kawaki's, I talked about Kawaki, how he got the Karma Seal back. And I did briefly mention the possibility that he got it back when Amato helped his arm regenerate. I did mention that possibility, and then right after I mentioned that, I was like, you know what? Probably that doesn't make sense because his karma is actually on his left side, and Amato basically helped his right arm regenerate. So I was like, maybe that's not really a possibility. However, that ended up being the case. It actually did end up being the case that it seems like Kawaki got his Karma Seal back due to Amato helping his arm regenerate, and that's when Amato reconstructed the Karma Seal. Now, after that, all Amato had to do was motivate Kawaki to want to get that power again, to get the Karma Seal power again, and he knew that Kawaki would eventually want to get that power again because, he knew that he would need that power to protect Naruto and to fight Code. Now, in this chapter, so that's how Kawaki got the Karma Seal back, and as far as him getting Ishiki's dojutsu, I guess that came along with the Karma Seal because technically that is... I'm pretty sure it's still Ishiki's Karma Seal, except Ishiki isn't going to be resurrecting through Kawaki. So basically, Kawaki, it seems like he still got the same exact Karma Seal. He obviously has the horn that looks just like Ishiki. So basically, he got Ishiki's Karma Seal back, but Ishiki's not going to have the... Basically, his Karma Seal, like Amato said, is only a weapon for power, and it's not going to allow Ishiki to resurrect through Kawaki because Ishiki's soul was completely extinguished, and... yeah, the Karma Seal Kawaki got is just a tool for power, just like how Code's Karma Seal is. So that's the case with that. Now, in this chapter, I believe that Kawaki does love and care about Boruto just as much as he loves and cares about Naruto. A lot of people think that Kawaki seems to think that Kawaki only cares about Naruto, or Naruto is the most important person to him. I actually think he cares about and loves Boruto just as much as Naruto. The only reason I think Kawaki was willing to kill Boruto is because, like, basically they made a promise to each other, or Kawaki made a promise to Boruto, and Boruto understood what that was. And Kawaki, obviously, he doesn't want to see Boruto suffer. But even if he didn't try to kill Boruto here, Boruto he was gonna eventually have to try to kill. I mean, if Momoshiki did resurrect through Boruto, he was gonna have to kill Boruto anyways. But at that point, if Momoshiki resurrected through Boruto, then Boruto would already be dead, and then he would just be killing Momoshiki. However, either way it goes, Kawaki understood the fact that at this current point, there's nothing that they could do to actually help Boruto get rid of this whole karma situation other than killing him. And obviously, you know, that's going to end Boruto's life, which is a very sad, tragic thing. However, that seems to be the only possibility, the only way of getting rid of that karma seal, from getting rid of Boruto's karma seal. And obviously, Boruto doesn't want to fully turn into Momoshiki because he doesn't want to actually kill or threaten anyone's lives that he cares about. So obviously that's the case, and I think that's the reason why Kawaki, even though he loves and cares about his brother Boruto, that's the reason why Kawaki was willing to kill Boruto, because Kawaki already promised Boruto that he would do whatever it took to get rid of his karma seal, and Kawaki knows that Boruto understood what he meant by that, and also Kawaki knows that Boruto doesn't want to kill his loved ones and doesn't want to turn into Momoshiki. So yeah, that's the case with that. But getting on to that topic, speaking about people caring about people, the characters caring about certain characters, Naruto actually, you know, did move in this chapter, which, you know, shows that he actually does love and care about Boruto a lot more than Shikamaru, because Code threatened Naruto that if he moves, he'll kill Shikamaru. But when push came to shove, when Boruto's life was on the line, he was willing to sacrifice Shikamaru's life. Now, obviously, that makes a lot of sense. Boruto is his own son, obviously. But I think it's more than just Shikamaru. I think Naruto actually does love and care about his own family members more than the village itself and anybody else in the village. Even though he says, he has a little catchphrase where he says, everybody in the village is my family. In reality, Naruto actually does care about Boruto and the rest of his actual family members, the people in his household. He cares more about them than everybody else in the village. Because if what he said was true, if he viewed everybody in the village as his family, and if you assume that he loved everyone equally in the village based off of that, then it wouldn't make sense for him to, you know, I mean, it still makes sense. But in general, like, him saving Boruto kind of proves that, you know, he cares more about his family than the village. And that was a great scene. That was a great moment. I'm really, you know, I'm giving props to Naruto. Naruto, he is great. I mean, that was great for Naruto. I'm happy he did that. And some people think I don't like Naruto for some reason, just because I talk about him and I debunk some of the outrageous statements that people make about him in regards to power scaling. But in case you didn't know, Naruto is my second favorite character in the entire series. As a matter of fact, he's my second favorite character in all of fiction in general, and literally in all of fiction. And if you guys haven't seen my top 10 favorite Naruto characters video, go watch that. But yeah, Sasuke is number 1 for me, the best character in all of fiction, and then Naruto is number 2 for me. But anyways, getting back to, you know, this fight and stuff. Oh, also, I'll talk a little bit more about, you know, power scaling and stuff later. But those people who was claiming that just because base form Naruto was doing, he was able to, like, react to Momoshiki during the Momoshiki fight. A lot of people was claiming, trying to use that Momoshiki fight to say that that Naruto in his base form should still scale roughly around Momoshiki levels, or he should be stronger than 5 Kage. Obviously, in this chapter, that whole idea is debunked. That whole argument is debunked simply due to the fact that basically Naruto got one-shotted by Boruto, and it actually wasn't even Borushiki, because towards the end of the chapter, Boruto regained consciousness. Therefore, Momoshiki was no longer controlling him, and he actually did mention that his mind was keeping Momoshiki at bay, and he told Kawaki that would be a great opportunity. He told Kawaki to kill him now while his mind was keeping Momoshiki at bay. Therefore, he was basically implying that when Momoshiki is controlling his body, he's actually a lot stronger than when he is controlling his body himself. Therefore, Borushiki actually one-shotted Naruto. Naruto couldn't even react to it. Boruto himself one-shotted Naruto, and that's actually Boruto. He's actually weaker than Borushiki. Like, this is like, technically he's still, I guess you can call this his third stage of the karma seal, but he's still not, you know, as strong as the Borushiki version, and yet he was able to one-shot current Naruto, who's in Toe Sage mode. So if that's, I mean, obviously that proves that Naruto doesn't scale anywhere near full power Momoshiki, because Boruto's only about 80, maybe. Last time we knew he was at 80% of the, he was at 80% of the Karma Seal was at 80% completion. And, you know, that means at most you can say he's probably 80% of base Momoshiki. And yeah, that was the case with that. And then he's been taking the pills from Amato, which has been slowing down the process. Now, with all of that being said, yeah, those are pretty much the major reveals. Now let's get into this fight. So the fight was Kawaki versus Boruto. It started off with Kawaki versus Borushiki when Borushiki was in control. And it was some great, amazing stuff going on in this fight. We had Kawaki using literally multiple different techniques. And I'm so happy that Kawaki now has Ishiki's Dojutsu and he has the full Karma Seal back, because Kawaki's now stronger than he's ever been before. And he might actually be the strongest character in the series. It's debatable if he's strong enough to beat like Ida and well, actually, yeah, he would beat Ida. He would beat Ida, because Ida, he's technically Ao Suzuki, therefore her hacks wouldn't work on him. And also he scales higher than her in general in terms of power, because it was only stated that she was a cyborg who scales above Jigen, but not Ishiki. And at this point, it seems like Kawaki does scale above Jigen at the very least. He might not be as strong as Ishiki right now. That's debatable, but I'm pretty sure he is stronger than Jigen at this point, because he has all of Ishiki's abilities, including the ones that Jigen didn't use. Because Jigen, he was mainly just using those black chakra receiver rods. That was the main thing he was using. Kawaki, he uses those in this chapter, as well as, you know, also Jigen was actually shrinking himself as well. Kawaki also does that in this chapter as well, shrinks his own body and stuff like that to microscopic levels or whatever. So he does that, and so those are basically the only two things that Jigen really did. And Kawaki, he does that, plus he does some of Ishiki's abilities, like, you know, summoning those huge cubes from Ishiki's pocket dimension, as well as summoning those pillars that Ishiki used against Kashi and Koji. So he basically uses all of Ishiki's abilities plus all of all of Jigen / Ishiki's abilities. Kawaki uses all of those abilities in this chapter, which was great. Plus he still uses ninjutsu, because he used a fire style jutsu in this chapter. And he also uses his body modifications, his body, modifications to, use his scythe and, to, modify his body and to send those pieces of his body at Boruto and stuff like that. And he's also shrinking, like he shrinks Boruto's shuriken and stuff like that. So yeah, he basically uses a combination of all of Jigen / Ishiki's abilities, as well as his own techniques that he's used throughout the series. Plus he absorbs Boruto's Rasengan in this chapter, so he uses some karma abilities. And so Kawaki just has a lot of abilities, and then he also uses some ninjutsu. So overall, he got ninjutsu, that's one. So he got ninjutsu, that's one. Karma Seal, that's two. Ishiki's abilities with his dojutsu, that's three. And then his body modifications, that's four. So he has basically 4 different types of abilities that he uses in this chapter, which gives him a lot of versatility. And he actually combines some of those abilities in this chapter. Like he shrinks, and he basically shrinks and teleports his body modified, body pieces, those like shuriken like pieces of his body that he used. Basically, like when he creates, when he uses his body modifications and he like throws pieces of his body at people. That's what he was using. And he actually shrunk those in his chapter and then made them reappear at full size. Basically grew them, manipulated their shape, and also controlled them with telekinesis, just like Ishiki and / Jigen did. And he basically, so yeah, he's basically mixing his abilities together, and it's very, very cool. So this fight was great. It basically, I'm just gonna briefly go down what happened. I basically already talked about everything that happened. But yeah, so it basically started off, the chapter started off with Code. It started off with the flashback of Amato, basically of Amato saying that if you want, you got to take the power for yourself, or something like that. You can take the power for yourself, the power of the karma or whatever. It started off with that, and then we had Code talking to Ida, wondering why Kawaki has the Karma Seal back, and I already explained what Ida said and her theory about that. And then Borushiki started to fight Kawaki, and yeah, I basically already talked about all the moves. I didn't go talk about it in chronological order, but that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, Kawaki, Boruto. Kawaki came at Boruto. Borushiki was dodging some of Kawaki's moves or whatever. They had some brief taijutsu. Kawaki started to use Ishiki's abilities. Boruto was dodging all of those, the rods and Kawaki's body modifications and stuff like that. And Borushiki tried to use a Rasengan. Kawaki absorbed it. Kawaki used the fireball. Used the fire style technique. I believe it was fireball jutsu. Borushiki absorbed that. Borushiki tried to kick Kawaki. Kawaki shrunk himself, and then he dashed and he dashed around Boruto, and he tried to stab him with his body modifications. Boruto dodged that. He kicked Kawaki. Every time I say Boruto, I mean Borushiki. Borushiki jumped up in the air, and Kawaki, used his, Ishiki's abilities again to basically summon the shrunken objects from his pocket dimension to try to actually hit Boruto with them. He summoned, his body modifications, as well as Kawaki actually did stab Boruto at one point in this chapter with his chakra, his black chakra receiver rods. So he actually stabbed Boruto with that at one point. And then, when eventually Kawaki got the better of Boruto, of Borushiki, and he tried to slam a cube down on him, and Naruto came in, got Boruto out of the way, and then after that, after that happened, then that's when Boruto started to wake up and he started to regain consciousness, and he basically told Momoshiki to stay out of this or whatever, and he told Kawaki, Kawaki asked him, do you remember what I told you? Do you remember what I told you? And Boruto said, yeah, I do. And now's the time to you're the only one I can ask to do this. So finish to kill me, brother, or something like that. So kill me or something like that. And Boruto said, and then Naruto was trying to stop Boruto, and he's like, hey Boruto, don't do anything too rash. And then Boruto used a regular wind style jutsu and blew Toad Sage Mode Naruto back. That actually debunks the whole idea that the whole argument that people were saying that Toad Sage Mode Naruto scales the Momoshiki and he scales above the Five Kage. That one scene actually debunks that whole argument, because obviously, Borushiki is, Borushiki, this is actually Boruto, not actually Borushiki. And it's, like I said, it's already implied that Borushiki is actually stronger than, it's implied that Boruto is stronger in his Borushiki form when Momoshiki is in control of his body rather than when he's in control of his body, which is why he told Kawaki, finish me off now while my mind is still keeping Momoshiki at bay. And Naruto was yelling at Kawaki in this chapter, like, hey, this is my son, what are you doing? He was basically, and Kawaki was like, yeah, I know you can't finish this off. And a couple things I forgot to mention. When Naruto moved, Cole said, Naruto actually moved, but it doesn't matter now, because he basically said it doesn't matter now. So he decided not to kill Shikamaru, even though Naruto moved. And he was like, let's just see what happens. There's really no point in killing you right now. Also, early on in the chapter, Kawaki was like, hey, you're not supposed to move because you don't want Shikamaru to die, right? And then Kawaki also said, it's not like I care if he die or not. And I don't blame, Kawaki, Shikamaru have been giving Kawaki a hard time, but that is pretty kind of like cold, or you could say, I don't know if I would say, it was kind of, showing that Kawaki doesn't care about Shikamaru. Maybe was, towards the end of the chapter, Boruto blew Naruto back, and he told Kawaki to finish him off, and then Kawaki actually finished him off. Or seemingly, like Kawaki actually pierced through Boruto's torso. It seemed like he pierced through Boruto's chest or right around his heart area, and he did that with his body modifications. And then the chapter ends with Boruto laying on the ground with a big hole in his chest. So seemingly, it seems like Boruto actually died. Now, I might do a separate video talking about my predictions for the next chapter, as well as my predictions for the future of Boruto overall. But, this video is already getting long enough, and I don't really want to go fully into that right now, because this video is getting long enough. Now, another thing is I might also do a video, and keep in mind, these are just possibilities. I'm not going to make any promises because, nothing is guaranteed. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in my life. But I do plan on making these following videos. Like I said, a prediction video about what's going to happen in the future of Boruto. And possibly, I do plan on making a video about spoilers. I mean, not spoilers, about power scaling in regards to the stuff we've been finding out in this chapter. So, yeah, I might be making a video about that as well, about power scaling in general. But one thing I will say about power scaling is Naruto, saving Boruto in this chapter, I believe you could probably not consider that a feat at all. And we already know that based on what Boruto himself did to Naruto in this chapter, we already know Naruto, he doesn't scale anywhere near Momoshiki or, and he's most likely the 5 Kage in general. We don't scale anywhere near him because the 5 Kage were actually able to react to King Ishiki and Momoshiki and stuff like that. And Naruto, Naruto doesn't scale anywhere near even, Boruto with this Karma Seal activated in this Karma Seal level 3 form, which is not even as strong as Borushiki when Momoshiki's in control. Now, that's all factual. But one thing I will say about that whole cube thing is the cubes could actually be coming down based off of gravity. So that wouldn't necessarily be a speed feat for Naruto. And I do realize that I used that argument in one of my previous videos about the whole cube argument for as far as scaling Sasuke's speed, because Sasuke actually did react to the cubes. But you don't actually need that to put Sasuke on Ishiki levels, because there is Sasuke actually did react to Ishiki himself. And he did so. Ishiki tried to catch Sasuke off a guard. Ishiki tried to catch Sasuke off guard from behind, and Sasuke was still able to react to Ishiki. So, and he actually countered Ishiki. So, technically, Sasuke actually does have speed feats. Even an off guard Sasuke actually does have speed feats that are that are relative to Ishiki, which would make Sasuke still relative to Biriyama Naruto in terms of speed. That's actually factual. That's factual. So I actually don't need the whole cube thing as a feat for Sasuke. But yeah, so I did talk to somebody, one of my fans, or should I say one of my supporters. I talked to him, and he basically said that whole cube argument, you could just say that, the cubes come down based off of gravity. So it might not necessarily be a speed feat in general. But anyways, well, all of that being said, let's get into my, overall thoughts of the chapter and my, rating. So overall, the Kawaki versus Boruto fight was absolutely, or should I say, the Kawaki versus Boruto / Borushiki fight was absolutely amazing. This is hands down one of the best fights in the Boruto manga so far. I don't know if I would say is the best fight, but it's definitely up there. The versatility, the different unique moves, and the combinations of moves that Kawaki was using in this chapter was amazing. Plus, seeing Borushiki react to all this stuff was great as well. It was just overall great. Some very, very cool stuff. The reveals in this chapter was cool as far as learning how Kawaki got the Karma Seal back and stuff like that. And, Kawaki getting the Ishiki's Dojutsu. All of that stuff was freaking fantastic. The way Naruto acted in this chapter was great, showing that he actually cares more about his family than anybody else in the village. Showing that even though Boruto was controlled by Momoshiki during that time, he wasn't going to let Boruto die at all. I have mad props to Naruto. I got tons of respect for Naruto. He did a great job in this chapter, showing how much he loves and cares about his son. Even though his son was threatening his life, and Borushiki, was threatening his life, Naruto, even though Naruto knew Momoshiki was controlling Boruto, Naruto still wouldn't let Boruto die. And I have some major props for Naruto. I love Naruto for that. Great stuff. It's very consistent with Naruto's character that he wouldn't let anybody he loves and cares about to actually die like that, especially his own family members. So that was great stuff overall. And overall, great, fantastic chapter. This was easily a 10 out of 10 chapter. The artwork in this chapter was great, amazing. The artwork was amazing. The story of this chapter was amazing. The fighting in this chapter was amazing. The action was amazing. Everything about this chapter was freaking fantastic, was amazing. The reveals, etc. Everything about this chapter was amazing. This was another 10 out of 10 amazing chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked the video, please drop a like. Please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And also, drop a comment. Let me know what you thought of my review and of the chapter in the comment section below. And share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Every promise I've been praying for.